Good morning. Happy weekend. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day weekend. Hope you enjoyed time. If you're a mother, with yourself, and if not, with your family. I hope it was wonderful, enjoying, restful weekend. Last week, as we always do on Mondays, we do a little recap and a little preview of what we think. And I'm here with my regular guest, the Badger. And Badger, last week was kind of a weird kind of week. Felt like we were down about $5 million, but it really, when it was all said and done, I mean, we were down, but it certainly wasn't as ugly as it felt. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, we lost some ground. It wasn't a great deal of ground, but it did feel like that. You know, the markets opened on a much lower note on Monday. Then we got some rally up to get them back to unchanged for the day. As usual, now I guess the weekend Greek debt crisis or Spanish debt crisis or whatever crisis they want. They seem like they always want some crisis on Sunday night. And it happened last week too. We opened then and that was it. We got up on Monday and from there we just sort of went back and forth and we ended up lower. We did go a little bit lower, then we had a nice rally back up and we finished about 1.5% lower.
You know, what I found interesting is that it was extremely strange, and you know, we had Monday lower, rally back, tried to get back to even. Tuesday opened much lower, tried to rally back. Wednesday kind of gave up the ghost, and it looked like we were primed for a pretty good dead cat bounce on Thursday. And sure enough, Thursday they gapped higher, but they kind of just dribbled the entire day after that, and they really could never get going with any force on Thursday after that rally. And you know, it's kind of funny. I wrote to my people on Thursday night, and I said, you know, right after the J.P. Morgan news bomb came out, and I said, you know, the charts kind of indicated that all was not right with the world, because that was a pretty cruddy dead cat bounce. What'd you think of that bounce?
Yeah, that was horrible on Thursday. It felt like it didn't want to go up. It felt like we were wanting to go lower. And the news from J.P. Morgan, the derivatives news, that they forgot to cover the other side of their trade, didn't sit well with the market, and all the financials sold off hard Thursday evening after the close, and then Friday. And Friday we just sort of drifted down all day. We did close a little bit off the low, but we didn't finish in a low tick for the week. But we have big support down below here, Bubba. I mean, it looks like we could be actually at the bottom of a congestion area. What do you think? You're going to get down to that area?
I think we're right here. I think, you know, you look at that 12.7 in the Dow. If you want to use that as the key number, you know, I think that's a pretty good number. And I think that the interesting thing is you and I like to talk about is the Russell itself kind of held up, you know, fairly well. You know, unlike past, the Russell was not the weakest index of the week last week. So it's something pretty interesting to look forward to. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're down at some sort of support, and certainly I would expect to see some, you know, dead cat bounce here, even if the trend is lower, because as I'm looking at the markets in general, the longest term trend, it would still be higher. The midterm trend is in congestion. The short term is now in a little bit of a downtrend. So we'll see how that plays out. But we are in a downtrend right on support, and we'll see now. Unless unless the action this week is based on my debt crisis and we get some selling, we'll kind of see what goes on. So what do you look for this week?
Well, like I said, and you said, we seem to be testing these bottoms right here. I would look for further tests, and if they hold, you know, we're really in a market that probably is going to go back up to try to find the upside of congestion. Of course, when you get these big areas of support, and the areas of support came in, I think we could go down quite a bit from here.
I agree if we can break that support, but in the meantime, we have to trade and look for what we have. Now this week we've got some big news, which we'll talk about each day as it's supposed to come out, but you've got, you know, CPI, retail sales, FOMC minutes. So it's going to be a news-driven week, and last week's news was not so good either. However, again, it felt like we were down a lot more than we were, but we really weren't down all that much when you look at the overall big picture. And I think that we have to look and say, you know what, the market is trying to find some support here. You know, Uncle Ben and his merry men are still supporting the bond market. The bonds are continuing to go higher with unbelievable, I mean, it's like they have helium, and I'm going to call it a balloon, and I'm going to continue to call it a balloon until it pops. So we'll see how the action trades out this week. We've got a lot to go over and a lot to talk about this week, and through different events, but I think the Badger and I both agree that the market is probably on some sort of support. And you know, we'd be looking for probably a spot to pick out and maybe grab a little bit of this dead cat bounce that's probably on its road. And that's kind of what we look for. Now remember, Bubba's picks still doing well. We're looking to get a little more active. Obviously, we're looking for a little more action in the market. Remember, have a great day. It's Monday, the Bubba Show. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.